I'm now up at Monbot College up in the Dandenong Ranges, and we run quite a large VCAL program. We have around 550 students in the school. There's over 70 in the VCAL program. So in terms of the percentage of our senior school that does VCAL, it's quite high, and a huge number of those students come from generational poverty backgrounds. They're not the type of kids who have ever known a work ethic to exist in their family. So my work with them is constantly evolving, and a lot of them really don't want to be at school. So a lot of what we do is all about trying to make sure we have some authentic learning in place for them, and that we're able to get evidence that this type of program is working for them. So today, has anyone heard me speak before? Okay, the four things. Oh no, you might enjoy what we do. So what I thought we'd do today, the brief I had was about how do we capture evidence, and because I'm the VCAL liaison teacher in the Eastern region, we get in a whole lot of our QA work, and you know, we have a huge variety of evidence. Sometimes the evidence on its own doesn't look terribly interesting. It's the stories that come with the evidence that are really important. And I thought, well, I'll do a mixture of things. I've had really bad bronchitis, so my voice will come and go. So what I thought we'd do today is I'd look at a whole lot of things about this authentic learning, but then put it into practice by developing, using some of the tools that I use to see how quickly you can develop a program. So this was just supposed to give us an idea that for a long time we've been looking for evidence of things. Okay, so when we talk about evidence, and I say to my students, you know, for everything you do, I need to collect something. You know, so they call me the sergeant. You know, I'm always out there trying to do some different things and look for the evidence that comes with it. And it was quite funny at the start of the year, because one of the first things we did with one of the groups was a program that was all about forensic science. And it's a Blake education book, and it was called The Murder of Barnaby Jones or something. And the kids have to work through all the clues, fantastic literacy, numeracy, bit of work-related skills in there. And they went, is this what you mean by evidence? And I said, well, just because it was about a crime doesn't mean I'm just looking for criminal evidence all the time, guys, you know. So, you know, it was a great way, though, to start and actually talk about evidence, because that whole little program was about looking at the information you've been given and then adapting it to try and solve or prove something. And we were able to relate that to a number of things that happen even just within a school setting. You know what it's like when you ask students, now tell me what you've done, and the stories between three of them would be very, very different for the same scenario, with that type of thing. So using the STAR principle, what are we trying to do today? We're going to have a look quickly at authentic learning. The task is, how do we capture and assess this? The action is, let's try some different activities, and the result is, what did we learn from these tasks? And if we get some sheets written up, generally I'll hand them over to Jan, or you know, I'll make sure that VALA has them, and they often will type them up and put them on the web, so you get an idea of some very quick ideas of what you could do. And guys, stop me at any time that you want to ask me something. So what is authentic learning? You know, teachers will be telling you all through life, oh, what we tell the kids is so authentic, but as a maths teacher, I can tell you that probably 80% of what we teach in school is not authentic to them at all. And it's only those that might go on to engineering or something like that that would believe what we've taught them is authentic. But it's about, they have a need to know, they want to find answers to some questions they've come up with, and they're given an opportunity to satisfy that need. So really, in essence, that's what authentic learning is about. That's a very simplified statement. But in terms of the students that we all work with, it's really appropriate. What's an authentic task? It's an assignment given to students designed to assess their ability to apply standard-driven knowledge and skills to real-world challenges. I wouldn't tell it to them in that language. But I say to every single one of my students, you have got some amazing special skills. Let's see where we can use them in this project, or let's see where we can use them within our classroom setting. So we're asking students to construct their own responses rather than selecting ones that are presented to them, and that the task is always going to replicate the challenges that they're going to face in the real world. To them, they have to see that each time they do something, it's got some relevance to them. So we've got some ideas. They say, well, look, what would we do? Traditionally, we might say to students, oh, look, select the appropriate response. If you're in an authentic type situation, you're actually asking them to perform a task. You could do something very contrived. We want to do something real life. Rather than do recall and recognition, we want to know about construction and application. Where a lot of our VALS programs could be teacher structured or VCE, very teacher structured, we want our programs to be student structured. There's a lot of indirect evidence that we get from the main part of our schooling, what we teach, but here we're looking at direct evidence, what the kids are creating.
Is this somewhere that we can tap in, like instead of trying to copy it all down?
I was going to say, there is on that booklet, there is a booklet for you on the table. My email's on there, so if you email me, I'm sorry I didn't get a copy of this. Don't copy it down, I will email it to each of you. Or even if you want to write your emails on a piece of paper, then I will just email it out for sure.
We'll probably post it on the network.
Yeah, that's cool.
Loretta
Yes.
releases it to us.
Okay, so how do we capture doing this? The theory sounds fantastic. How do we capture it in the school? Well, the first thing is that students are able to negotiate their learning. They have an opportunity that when they've negotiated their learning, they actually feel a bit safer about participating in it. You give them a textbook, they're daunted. You give them an idea that they develop, they're happy to be part of it. And they're sort of guided and encouraged to record and assess their own learning using a variety of assessment tools. And you know, my greatest resource is my students. They are the ones that come up with a heap of ideas about how we can do some things. So, how are we going to tackle this? And I've got 6 tables set up, but we'll only use a couple of them. I might bring some more sheets up. What I do is I give my students one of the sheets. We have all different topics on them. And usually they're laminated, just because they are a bit more durable. And I get the students, I give them pens that they can write on it. I say, look, we're going to do a topic about the Spring Racing Carnival. I want you to put on it everything you know about the Spring Racing Carnival, and then on the back I want you to put down everything you'd like to know about it. Right? And that would be the first part of our task. So we ask the students to tell us about what they would like to learn. Okay, this is, like I said, like speed dating. I'm going to give you about 2 minutes on your table to come up with just a whole lot of ideas. You've each got one. There's I-O, it's off to work I go. That's my mantra. This group here, I think you've got one that's looking after your mates. And I don't know if you want to join another table. There's one there about road rules, everything like that. So 2 minutes, guys. We're going to give you that chance to put on that sheet things that you would think you could develop into a VCAL program from that sheet that you would give the students.